of Faker's highest win rate and highest play rate champions will be locked in. Mada's doing his best key impression, trying to freeze the wave. So far successful.
A lot of harass from Wolf though. Throws out that dark
Caitlin's here with a BF sword.
That's going to be the hook. They throw down the trap, but Wolf will walk around. Won't get caught up at that one. See if Wolf can still make it out of here. Live play back in from Mada. Trying to get him. They just forced the flash to get both of the summoner spells out from Wolf.
Feels like Bang and Wolf have the reputation. Reputations only count for so much. As here we go.
Yeah, Mada flashing in the hook. Gonna go wide as Peanut dashes to the side.
Mada's low.
Keep himself alive. Mada does go low. True Shot Barrage comes through from Bang. Not going to connect onto anybody, but now Pawn going to be the target. Wolf coming up. Going to be looking for that Mantra Q to try to slow up multiple members. Could get a really big hit onto Mada and Pawn. Realm Warping coming through. He'll get placed right in range to get on top of Pawn. Flashes away to try to keep himself alive. Mada still trying to sprint his way out. Big equalizer thrown down by Smeb, but everybody's going in. And that's going to be first blood going over to Pawn. Comes up with a kill onto Faker, and they fire back with another one, taking out Wolf. That looked so bad for KT Rolster, but the team play turns it around. Yes. Let's see if he wants to opt into a bit more defensive stats. Mada flashing in, trying to get the flay onto Faker, but he's got the ghost and he makes it out alive.
Now they do explosive damage. If you pick the right fight, if you get some picks, it doesn't matter. You can still win. Speaking of picks.
Play comes down, Box not going to connect on the Bang. He's still finding height back. Wolf, however, gets snatched up, dragged in, scores on the way. Could just be another kill coming through. Mada just fearlessly tanking up in the front line, but it costs him his life. They are able to answer one onto Wolf as he goes low, but that is just going to be a turnaround onto Score. Collateral damage from Peanut takes out the Spider.
And that was the 1,000th kill for Bang as well. The crowd just realizes the big cheer comes through. So 1,000 kills onto Mada feels good. KT have put top teams to the sword, but struggled against some of the lower placed teams.
Well, the Faker really far forward. That Shock Blast comes through, gets a lot of damage, and he throws in the Rune Prison, but here comes Score. Cocoon connects. That's going to be Faker going down. Nice wraparound by Score to come up with the kill. Can they get more is going to be the question.
SKT out of position for this.
Bang takes a big chunk of damage. Hook comes through. Vada goes in, drops the box, but he's just getting annihilated. Last turret shot doesn't connect, so he makes it out with his life, but barely so. But Huni comes in the backside with the TP, jumps in onto Depth. Hook not going to connect. Now Huni getting chunked out, still not tanking enough.
Equalizer up.
Will be blocked by Peanut, but does he pay with that one? With his life, looks like the answer is going to be yes. Smeb drops the equalizer, goes in with the Zonias, comes out, should make it out alive. Pawn taking up a couple of these turret shots, will be able to exit around back into the jungle, and Depth can finish off the tier 2 turret. A trade on the junglers, but KT Rolster do come out with another turret. Mada's eating a lot of damage. Now Smeb, all on his lonesome in the river, gets a lot of damage down onto Peanut, goes back in with the Flame Spitter. Doesn't make it into a Zonia as Peanut comes up with a kill with the collateral damage. So, goodbye Rumble. Dredge line forward from Huni. Can't get in range to hit anybody, but now Score yet again coming in. Below SK Telecom by himself, has to burn the flash to get out.
The collapse is coming here. They expect KT to be somewhere. This is definitely...
Oh, looking for Peanut. Shock Blast connects. Ace in the hole comes through, and he just gets popped. Before that redemption comes down, kill going over to Pawn. Now hook forward onto Huni.
Oh, the
cancels out the dredge line. Nicely done by Mada. The box comes down for the slow. Big redemption heal. Will connect for KT, but Huni still just too tanky. Won't be able to take down the Nautilus, at least for the moment. Realm Warp coming in. They want Smab. Just have a Zonia throws down the equalizer. Dredge line comes through. Flame Spitter coming out. Send out that Dark Passage trying to make
Faker.
safety, but now Mada comes in. Nice Zonias from Faker to dodge out on that death sentence. Mada gets locked up by the tether from Wolf, and he goes down. The first one that died. Dredge line in on the depth. He falls low, pops the heal to keep himself alive. He's in the hole, directed onto Peanut, but there's just no way to get through Huni. That's just going to be a nice pick coming through for SK Telecom as they take out Mada and lose nobody for it. To really assist with it. The pings are coming through. They identify this, but now Wolf gets caught out in the jungle. He goes down as Smeb claims the kill. Nice pick for KT Rolster, but what can they get off the backside of it? Looks like it might just be that last inner turret at top.
See that in the mid lane. Mini wave being proxied as Pawn tries to set it up. I want to bring in as many mini waves as possible. That's going to go for a kill.
Straight in on a Faker. Redemption comes down from both sides. Score. Lands a Cocoon. Faker gets popped right back up in the last second. One more shot from Pawn will do it. Does he flash forward? Yes, he does. Comes up with a kill. Equalizer thrown down. Gets a little bit of damage off of Huni's life bar. He flashes in. Helps get the kill onto Mada. And they come up huge as Bang just starts firing away Mystic Shot after Mystic Shot into the faces of KT Rolster. Taking out 3-4 members now. As Smeb goes down, Score, the last one alive, and SK Telecom with Peanut here. They can just turn straight over onto that Baron at 34 minutes. very easily argued the best Ezreal in the world. Def might have something to say about that. Could see that comes from him, but in the meantime, Hootie's just going to get jumped on. Does have a Guardian Angel
Not that much
available.
damage here.
Going to try to buy as much time as possible. Throws out the dredge line, gets interrupted yet again by the death sentence from Mata, and 4 members of KT surrounding your dying body. He will, in fact, go down, but SKT, they're just going to punish this, so they get rid of the tanky front line, but they're not going to be able to take that inner turret in top. They might just lose an inhibitor. SK Telecom, they're going for the base. Equalizer thrown down by Smith. They're trying to buy some time, but this turret will still fall. Amplifying that Infernal Drake as well, so 12% additional for Bang and Faker, who have already been shredding with the amount of damage they've amassed for themselves. Pawn going to get jumped on. Realm Warp comes through. He flashes away in time to get away from that rune prison, however. Now big flash down for him. Mata getting hooked up by the dredge line. He's just going to get popped immediately as Huni comes up with a kill. Might just pay for this one with his life. He's had that Guardian Angel available, but he's able to walk out. Faker pushing forward into the base, looking for depth. Big shot comes through. Over 900 damage connects onto him, and Pawn goes down as Peanut picks up the kill. Smeb, stuck with the Zonias, is able to flash and zip his way out with the scrap shield. But it just looks like this is going to be it for KT Rolster. The Super Creeps getting ready to be coming down through that bottom lane as they knock out the inhibitor. SK Telecom, do they just stick around and go for the finish? Looks like the answer is going to be yes. Nexus turret number 1 goes down. Number 2 to follow very swiftly. Score gets jumped on, gets popped, as Faker comes up with yet another kill. They get rid of Smeb. This should be the ace. The dredge line onto Def does connect, and SK Telecom take out KT Rolster in game number 1.
Is it just going to be the Azir to try and have some disengage? Or are you going to try and opt out of team fighting completely?
Oh boy, all right, here we go.
Let's talk about Pawn on the Zed, because 19th game of the season, first time he's on a melee champion. This is a nice wraparound from Score,
yeah,
though.
Score coming in right on the backside of Faker, has that red buff to slow him up. They're going to dash through. Faker does have the flash, but Score is going to cut him off. Pawn getting exhausted now. Score just going to go ahead and flash in. That's going to be the kill. First blood going over to Pawn on Zed. And that's going to be a great way to kickstart the Ninja.
Peanut this time is the first one to react.
Deft and Mata already starting to peel back. Deft going to be trying to clear this out. Has to flash away as Peanut comes in with that bush hop. Should just be the exit. They'll get a little bit more damage from the Roar. Trying to trade some back on the Peanut, but otherwise he's all right.
She's actually losing trades in a preferential matchup pretty hard.
Score's walking up, doesn't have flash.
Just wants to help them
really
push.
close the gap. Yeah, just gonna try to shove this back. Bang, jumps to the side of the Arcane Shift, tries to get the kill in onto Mata. Won't be able to find it. Now Peanut here, backing up his bottom lane. Will take a bit of damage here from Score, who just goes ahead, quick draws forward, just to get a couple shots off.
Ooh.
You know, going low, does have a ward here, defensive one, so he spots out Score coming around, but now Score going to be looking to take away this red buff. Does not have Smite. Good smoke screen, just going to zone Peanut bad. Pawn comes over very aggressively, throws out the Living Shadow, throws down the Ignite and the Death Mark. Can he come up with a kill though? The shield comes out from Faker, the pop hits, but it's just not enough to take him out. Pawn goes low, Faker throws down both of his summoners to try to get the kill, but just won't be able to find it.
Gets more and more comfortable.
Well, Faker out of mana, throws the shield on himself, does not have flash. They cut him off at the end of the line. Smeb wraps around from the backside. Last melee hit comes up with the kill. 2 on the board for KT. Alrighty, rough times here. Oh, wow. Very big respect flash here from Huni. This control ward didn't get cleared out in the brush, so I think he had some idea that Pawn had retreated back. Speaking of Pawn, goes in onto Faker. The shockwave does connect. He has a death mark coming through. Doesn't do nearly as much damage as you would expect yet. But Ash Arrow comes out. Faker still gets clipped. Flash forward from Wolf with the ebb and flow. Comes up with the heal to keep Faker alive, at least for now. Smeb comes into the backside, has the flame spitter, helps take him out as Pawn. Claims the killing blow, and a second one goes over to KT Rolster, taking out Peanut. Nicely done by KT. Everybody collapsing in.
And certainly that will only be a matter of time as bot lane.
Oh, Pawn goes in. Bang. There's just no way. Ignite comes through. They do have the ebb and flow. Pop doesn't do enough. Actually, does make it out alive, but it's like Huni might not be able to say the same. The red buff slowing him up. Electro Harpoon doesn't connect. Good flash away from Bang at the last second to get out of range of that Ash Arrow. But a bit
Look at
enough to kill him.
this.
Pawn going really aggressive up towards Peanut.
A little bit of a laugh too. He's going to walk up and try again. There's no support yet, although we can see Nami is going to walk up.
Could just kill Wolf. He's gonna go ahead, jumps in. Doesn't even use the death mark. Might still have the kill. Has to use it right at the last second. Does get it. They're waiting for him to snap back. They're ready for this one. Peanut's got the bush hop, so the flash won't take Pawn far enough away to keep him alive, so he does go down.
They are drawing multiple members. KT not in a position to punish them around the map, but if that needs to be the case, if 2 to 3 people have to back up Bang every time he looks for CS in the side lane, it's a big problem.
Or can he find another steal? The answer is going to be yes. Now maybe looking for a bit more. Does have collateral damage up in a second. Goes forward looking for Peanut. A couple more hits would do it. Collateral damage now available, but Peanut out of range, so Scourge is going to go ahead and have to peel back. Now, SK Telecom, they have to decide very quickly who they're going to split off. Peanut gets hit by that equalizer. End of the line will not connect, and the collateral damage again used. So won't be able to find a kill onto him, but that will send him packing back towards the fountain, and that opens up KT to finally break that inner turret line. 17.5 minutes just about.
Yeah, very difficult to DPS down Nodalus. Ninja Tabi does so much work. Triple Ninja Tabi.
Mata flashes away from the dredge line and away from Peanut simultaneously. Still gets popped up by that depth charge. Looks like he might go down. No, the shield comes in. Heal as well from depth, keeping him alive over the wall. Smeb gets jumped on, throws down the equalizer straight into the zone. Is it enough to keep him alive? Yes, it is. The Ash Arrow comes out, locks up Wolf. He's going to go down. 3 members of SK Telecom just get ripped right off of Summoner's Rift by KT Rolster. And they are just going to be more than happy to get those kills, wander on down to this bottom lane, start pressuring out another inner turret. Maybe we can see them rotate down the river, go for that. Flash away by Wolf to get himself out of that hitbox from the Ash Arrow. Score gets rooted down, Peanut goes back in, down to half HP, they throw out the tidal wave. Faker. Pitching in from above, does not have the shockwave. KT, if they can maintain this map presence, very well could net themselves for that. Faker just trying to spend his time getting some damage in onto the turret. Score goes low, throws out the collateral damage. Bang has the flash away, but Death follows through with his own. Red carpet laid out by Smeb comes up with the killing blow.
Nodalus just cancels teleport. Another teleport that does not lead to anything.
They do. They could very well go for this. The Scuttle Crab's there. Maybe they try to bait it Pawn.
Oh,
yeah,
that was a
very
sick bait.
Cheeky.
That is a sick bait.
Trying to make him think, but there's the Scrying Orb comes through. And
I mean,
now,
they get a Scrying Orb. That's still something, right?
Yeah, they burn out the cooldown. It's very cheeky by Pawn. Red carpet thrown out for Peanut, getting burned away at. Down to just about half HP. The Leandri's doing so much work. Meanwhile, Smeb juking away from the dredge line. Hootie connects onto the wall. Now Pawn goes down onto Bang. Death Mark's there, and he gets taken out. Kill coming through for the Zed. A lot of poke eliminated for the side of SK Telecom. They're going to go ahead and work their way right back over to this Baron where they will start it up.
And you see in that fight why it was so important that they took the early objectives, because Orianna is never grouped with a front line in front of her to put the ball, to cancel out the death mark. Faker has been out of position because it's very hard to have position, and we hear an ultimate popped and we see a turn.
Yeah, dredge line coming through. Big
equalizer!
Big shockwave comes through. Faker just absolutely devastates the ranks of KT Rolster. A triple kill for him. Pawn trying to get out with his life, but it just doesn't look very likely. And good God, off the backside of the Baron, SKT blow the game wide open. Hootie, he lands the dredge line. Pawn dead to rights will go down. That's an ace for SK Telecom T1.
That right there is the 4,000 ELO shockwave. That is why Faker is the ultimate game breaker. They cancel out the Baron on every member.
Absolutely devastating, and that has got to shock KT's mental state. If that doesn't, I don't know what else will. We'll see if a teleport can have some effect. Huni comes in from the sidelines, gets the dredge line in on to score. He quick draws in just for the reload, not even to try to get over the wall. Def gets popped up yet again, has to flash over towards the tier 2. Now they're firing back. Huni gets locked down. The redemption heal comes through, but it's not enough to save his life. Smeb gets the killing blow. Meanwhile, Pawn splitting onto that inner turret in the top lane.
Bit of chunk coming onto this turret, but no more.
Yeah, popping the Youmu's, trying to get as many hits in as he can. Knocks it down to about half HP. It'll
Mid lane, though.
Very long time for that to regen. Peanut getting jumped on. Big flame spitter coming through from Smeb, but they're going to go ahead, turn away, be happy with the turret. Maybe get the inhib if they can. Might be a little bit too risky. Is now Score getting jumped on by Bang, trying to make it out with his life. Pawn coming in. They're trying to back him up. He will die, but Pawn goes in. Deathmark comes down. Can they save his life? He jumps to the back line with the arcane shift. The Deathmark will not kill him. Shockwave connects. Smeb very nicely timed Zonius to keep himself alive, but the bullet comes through. Faker, can he follow up with yet another kill? There it is. The auto attack is enough to take out the Rumble. 2 members dead. Pawn effectively out of the fight. SKT successfully defend their base. No inhibitors lost.
It's a big Baron play for KT. Either picking up the Baron and pushing, or fighting around the Baron is what they need.
Well, Faker gets a lot of damage onto Pawn. He goes in with the death mark, just has to dash away. Faker not even worried about using his Zonias, knows that the damage is going to be overall inconsequential.
There isn't any itemization anymore. to counter, barring a comical 6th item Zonias or something like that. Smeb, though.
Oh, yeah, Smeb in a really bad spot. Shin won't connect onto him, so he's likely just going to have to recall yet again.
They really need to outthink SKT, and a teleport might do that.
Yeah, TP coming in from the sidelines. Huni gets rooted down by the tether. They throw out the tidal wave. You can see Smeb just going to go ahead and peel back. Pawn pokes his head in from the sidelines.
That's a bad terrain to fight around against Equalizer.
Yeah, he can't get much damage down onto Peanut. Shield is there from Faker to keep him healthy. Score dashes in. Bango Score gets a lot of damage down onto the Graves. Mystic Shot not going to connect. Score will be okay for now.
Such a mind game for SKT now. When they were trying to go out down that narrow corridor, perfect for the Equalizer. They fight in the open, much more difficult to get that same value. No setup CC this time. Now, if they come through a choke, you'll see what happens. They turn on to Baron.
I mean, they turn on to Baron. Mata gets caught by that shockwave.
Dead,
Big goes straight into the zone. He has Peanut getting rooted down. Pawn comes over the wall looking for a kill. Can he find it? Dashes onto Peanut with a death mark in the back line. Looks like he might just get the pop. Heal comes through, but it's just not going to be enough to keep him alive. Red line connects onto Pawn. Meanwhile, Faker goes down as Smeb burns right through him. Pawn taking the blast cone for a ride. Will be able to make it out with his life. It's a 2-for-1 pickup in favor of KT. Bang still sort of chasing. Won't be able to close the gap onto Def to try to come up with a kill.
But Faker's still dead, so they're trying the Baron.
He's dead for 5 seconds. Won't be able to join in with this one. Redemption coming down to keep KT healthy. When he comes forward, the Baron goes down, goes over to score. Can they make it out with a buff this time around? We're going to find out. Smeb goes into the zone. He is with a Flame Spitter up. We'll get a whole lot of damage done to Huni, but now he's just all on his lonesome, stuck on an island with KT Rollster.
Equalizer back up.
And they cannibalize him. Peanut trying to make it out of here. Dashes in, but he just pays for it with his life. Depth picks up the kill. 2 more members dead on the side of SK Telecom, and this time KT walks away with all 5 buffs.
Whether you're a KT fan or an SKT fan, there's nothing you want more than another game. It's already been a series that's given so much.
Oh, Bang gets hit by the Ash Arrow. Equalizer comes down. Brings him to about half. Not the best carpet you could have laid out. Smeb still gets a little bit of damage in with Peanut. Electro Harpoon will not connect, and he gets locked up by the Bola, so can't push forward, but that will be the inhibitor line broken by KT. They want to just peel out of here.
Promoted minion. Bit of a headache when it comes to minion waves, but this is inevitable. This should be turret falling. There it is.
They get it, and they transition that into another inhib. You can see just how much damage Depth is doing every single shot. Redemption thrown down to get the heal. Smeb doesn't gain too much, but Thrill the Hunt's enough to zone them back at least for now, but the inhib still falls. Pawn getting the top one down to about half HP, and KT can just start with this full court press. Super Creep's going to be crashing in pretty much every single wave. Bang gets jumped on, takes a lot of damage. Will not go down. The collateral not enough to finish him off. The heal comes through and keep him up.
Equalizer just to get Faker away from the turrets. They just want to end this game.
That might just be the end of this one. You can see the first turret goes down. Huni pushing forward, trying to find something. Shockwave comes in, but only finds Score. He gets popped up by the bubble. Pawn going into the back line. Will get his Guardian Angel pop, but he's just keeping the rest of SK Telecom busy while they shatter those Nexus turrets. Now Nexus is exposed. Smeb coming back in with the TP. A couple more shots on that Nexus, and I think they've done it. Here we go. Get a last few kills at the end as they kill Peanut. The Nexus crumbles, and we're going to game 3. They lock it in, and now
there's a lot of squishies there, Achilles.
Coma patting Faker on the shoulder, and they go ahead, they lock it in. We got Pawns in game 2. Now we get Fakers in game 3.
Although Faker's collapsing here.
There's 3 here. Smeb already going down. Big body slam does connect. Pawn gonna have to flash over the wall.
Pawn was actually the superstar there. He went aggressive because he knew if they collapsed on Smeb, he was dead. So he gave up his flash to allow Smeb to exit. I think that was a really heads-up call. Mata's walking up. They want to fight. Mata's walked all the way from bot lane.
Blank has it. They are still collapsing. Smeb gonna go forward, gets a body slam in on the Blank. He's going low. Score comes up with the first blood. Now Huni in a bad spot. Flashes away from that big shock.
Mata want this. He really wants it.
Lands the Q. The exhaust comes down a slow from the barrel, and that's going to be concussive blows. That's going to be 2 kills picked up. A double kill delayed goes over to Score, and KT just explode onto the Rift for game number 3.
And in Season 4, Mata redefined roaming with his warding, with his roams with Dandy. He legit sacks lane, walks all the way to top, makes it work with the Flash Winter's Bite.
We've only seen him twice this year, so we haven't even gotten much of a gauge on how much he's improved. Huni, though, in a bad spot, gets knocked back by the explosive cast. He knows he's dead, just wants to get the minions here at the end. We'll be able to soak those up, but hands a 3rd kill over to Score. To be the ones that bring this game back above the water. They have
Wolf,
some breathing
you should
room.
not be there.
Yeah, Wolf is in a bit of a rough spot here. Has a great health shield still that he can pop. We'll pop it now. Bond waits this out and has a shock blast. Ooh! Almost comes up with it.
That's when you feel good about taking those extra armor runes. But the fact that they've gelled so quickly is the surprise. I mean, both teams have new parts to them.
He's trying to get this.
I don't know about that flash.
Control ward, flash forward. They knock him back in towards score.
Not dead yet.
Should be able to close this up. That's going to be Deathmark coming through from Faker, but he takes too much damage. Deathmark pop will still come up with a kill. Faker makes it out alive. But they lose 2 members for it. Abyssal Voyage comes through from Bang and Wolf.
Mata.
Arriving just on the back end of the fight. Mata does roam up by himself. That gives him alone time. Over to Deft. Smeb goes forward. Still has the ultimate. If he wants to try to pop Bang in, looks like he's going to think better of it.
It's not the old ultimate anymore, though. The reliability is a lot harder.
There we go.
Now,
Still
though.
finds it. Bang has the flash. Holds on to it. Waits for the Devourer to come through from Wolf. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Huni going to TP in, looking for a kill onto Deft. But it gets matched immediately by Smeb. It's a game of chicken, and both of them decide to back down. Yep, meanwhile, down bot. Deft going low. Faker gets locked up by the concussive blows. Mata has to flash away. He'll come down from Deft. Yep, score is here, and he's very strong. Blank gets locked up. Devourer comes through from Wolf. Can they make it out alive? Slow comes through. They might just have to sacrifice the top catch. And it looks like that might just be the play here. Wolf doing his damnedest, but just nowhere to go. Score still fiercely
Still got a lot of burst.
pushing into the face of Faker. He's got 2 levels on him, but he still just is not afraid. Curtain Call thrown down. On to Pawn, gets locked up by the Deadly Flourish. Curtain Call's here. Pawn jukes out 1. Can he juke out more? Flame Spitter's coming through. 4th one's
He might just
connect.
kill him.
Can he get the kill into Huni? No, not going to happen. The overheat auto attack's doing too much. That will be Pawn going down. They had to invest quite a bit.
Faker can finally start entering the side lane. Let's see if the punish can be here by KT.
Mata is here to try to follow up onto Faker. It's the first hit in, throws out the Glacial Fissure. He will be slowed as he tries to walk across this, but big Abyssal Voyage comes through from Wolf and Bang.
Good to see him reacting first and roaming first, because if Smeb is allowed to roam first...
Flash body slam. They try to pop him back in. Huni does flash away. This time, the flash is good.
Look, he doesn't get the kill, but they get the objective they were looking for. There's still pass marks there.
I'll still feel happy about that one. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, it's going to be a bit of a party. This Voyage coming through. Pawn getting exhausted, already down below half HP. Smeb does finish channeling this one. Going to slow up Blank. Wolf tanking up the turret. Glacial Fissure comes through to lock him in. He will die. Smeb trying to chase down onto the rain guard to get a little bit more. But now with Death coming on the sidelines, flashes in for the volley to slow up onto Blank. Cast comes through. It's not enough damage to finish him off yet. Now
there's going to be a turnaround
from Huni. This could be a big fight for SKT. Death getting hit in the backside by the Curtain Call. 4th shot won't connect, but it doesn't matter because Faker comes up with a kill. Huni barely limping out with his life. They find 3 kills in the bottom lane. A little bit of damage in, but unlikely that they'll be able to take it.
You say that, but it's triple AD carry, and they're very out of position, SKT.
The wave's not there yet. Second one still back by the tier 2. Huni trying to pinch in from the sideline. Smeb finds him, pops him back with the cast, goes down to half HP, but the Devourer comes through. They lock up Wolf, however, might be looking for a kill onto the top catch. Smeb still not tanky enough in that front line, has to peel back. He gets rooted by the Deadly Flourish, but Bang, not feeling confident enough to come up with the kill.
Poke still a happy spot for KT.
Oh, score. The sidelines, Deathmark comes through. They pop up Faker. They will find the kill, but the Deathmark will finish off score in the end, a 1-for-1.
There's a lot of gold on the Faker. They don't have a lot of wave clear outside of him as well.
That's going to be the equalizer thrown down in desperation. Mata gets rooted up, taking a couple short shots, but overall looks like he may just be okay. Now the Curtain Call comes through. He's going to be the target as well as Deft. It's going to be Smeb and Pawn trying to take this up. Pawn goes back in, really greedy, really aggressive. The bouncing grenade comes through, chunking them all down so very much. Bang, flashing forward, can't get the last shot. The Deadly Flourish won't connect. Meanwhile, on the backside of the fight, a double kill comes in for Huni. Won't be able to make it a triple quite yet, as it looks like Smeb will make it out with his life, but Pawn, not as much can be said for him, getting collapsed on by several members. Does he just go for the play? He's going to try to
teleport.
Yeah, jumps back in onto the wave. That's the TP coming through from Smeb to zone them off. He'll cancel that to get the refund on the cooldown.
All right, 3rd time's the charm on this inner turret.
They're trying for it. Faker pops the Youmu's on the side.
Minions are in a really good spot in top and bot lane. All going to be pushing in.
Equalizer comes down. Mata getting chunked down. Faker goes in. Smeb's going to body slam him. Trying to delay him a bit, but he goes into the backside with Mata, but he just gets absolutely destroyed. Score comes up with a kill, but now SKT, they are firing back. Curtain Call in onto the Graves. A couple more shots will take him out. They can't find it with a 4th and final. They might still be able to finish him off. He quick draws away from that Deadly Flourish. They got Faker, but they lose for SKT. Just winning these fights despite the gold deficit. The same way every time they push up for that tier 2 turret. Now though, fight breaking out in the mid lane. Def getting jumped on, going down. By the look at things, Deathmark comes through. Can they finish him off? He's exhausted and he will fall. That's going to be Bang coming up with the kill.
Backline.
Double kill. And now here comes Faker. Comes up with one, but he pays for that one with his life as Pawn will barely slink out of this one. But yet again, KT just losing these fights to SK Telecom. Pawn finds an answering kill with a big shock blast onto Wolf.
Calling an award.
But it's a 2 for 4 in
Bang.
favor of SKT. Do they go for this?
Yep.
Oh. All right, well, the Deadly Flourish not fast enough for Pawn. He was not window shopping, as it turns out.
Definitely can't go and queue that one point. He needs to run away this time.
Yeah. Smab's down to the bottom lane, going to be TPing in right into the front.
Returning.
Down to half HP. Looks like SKT will go ahead and peel back. Big shot blast comes through. Score goes in the front line. Wolf will get locked up by the Ash Arrow, and he gets deleted. Equalizer comes down, but it's cutting off KT for the rest of their squad, but there's just no way for SKT to pick off those members in the front. So they're just going to go ahead, have to lose Wolf, which probably have to say is the best case scenario.
Do they
for
try
them.
the Baron? They're going to.
They start this one up. They have that double Infernal with the Mountain. Curtain Call comes in as an answer. So KT just getting rid of another ultimate.
There's so much safe space for Bang to open up there, but much less around Baron.
Oh, they're looking for something.
Big equalizer.
Equalizer comes down. Pawn already down to half HP. Abyssal Void's coming in for the sidelines with Blank in tow. Death gets locked up immediately. It looks like he's going to fall. Yes, he does. The bot lane of KT wiped off the map. Smeb not able to contribute an ultimate to that. And now with Deft and Mata both gone, SK Telecom are going to set their sights on that Baron. Yep. Shock blast goes through. Bang goes low.
Baron
only
at
down to half
4,000.
HP. Baker goes in, gets a lot of damage down on the Pawn, knocks him down to
Here's
about
the turn.
half HP. Curtain Call coming through. Bang still safe in the back line. Baron resets, so just going to be looking for a pick here. All KT make it out of range. Flash forward from Wolf with a tongue lash. Trying to come up with the kill. Smeb goes in, might just be the sacrificial lamb. Pawn comes up with a kill onto Faker, but he will get taken out in the end as Wolf goes forward, finds that killing blow. Smeb does eventually go down as Huni burns him out with a flame spitter. Score very close to giving Bang his first death of the game.
But they got a 2 for 1. They got a 1 for 2 and stopped the Baron 3v5. Exactly what KT wanted.
Yeah,
remember, it's in double lane. Infernal.
Yeah, plus the Mountain Drake. Baron already down
give it up.
Below half HP. They have to get in here. Blank maybe coming up the steal. He's not able to find it. Score gets it, but can they get kills on the backside of this? Demption coming down, keeping KT alive as best as they possibly can, but Faker already takes out Def. They already get rid of Mata, the first 2 to die. Yet again in this fight, Pawn goes down. Score trying to exit on the backside, takes the blast cone for a ride, but he's still getting pinched on by Blank and Wolf. Looks like he will be able to make it out. Has that Baron empowered recall. They pick it up, but they lose 3 members. 40 seconds on Pawn, 25 on Deft. What can SK Telecom take in the meantime?
It needs to be a trade up, though. If they trade evenly, then Zed is going to have a field day. So they need to brute force, and it's on SKT to try and hold.
Shock Blast only connects on the Wolf. Mata's already very close to dead.
Damage.
Throughout the redemption, Ash Arrow comes through.
Can
They
they get
find
a
Wolf,
pick?
body slam forward. The cast comes through, but it just knocks him away. They can't get on the Bang. He's going to open up the curtain call. Big equalizer thrown down. Mata, he's going to be the first one to fall yet again. Heal coming out of Death, trying to keep them alive. Give them that little burst of
recall.
Speed. But that's going to be Faker just splitting in the bottom lane. And SKT, all they have to do is
Keep
just delay
chasing.
the recalls. It's going to be a body slam back forward from Smeb. Pawn going low. Tries to get onto Blank, but just can't come up with the kill. Bang, finds that one. Finally suffers his first death, but now Score is starting to turn things around. Comes up with a double kill. Going to be looking for Huni. Doesn't have the GA quite yet over here.
Meanwhile,
can't do anything, but Faker is now splitting in onto the Nexus turret. Score comes up with a triple kill at the end, but Faker is just chipping away at the base.
2 are able to get out, so not quite. It's going to be the hold from KT. Oh boy, this game is so close.
With double Infernal and the Mountain, the Elder Dragons would still be quite good for them.
They're all popped.
Coming out, Blank gonna get slowed up. Curtain Call comes down. Does chunk out Mata. The Curtain Call coming through now, just chunking them down. Def trying to kite back. Get a couple hits in on the Blank, who jumps forward. Big Cast comes out. He still has the Guardian Angel keeping alive. Baker goes into the back line, gets popped up immediately by the Glacial Fissure, but Wolf is there for the Devourer to keep him alive. Smeb gets his GA popped. Huni jumping straight in on top of Def, and that lifesteal is barely enough. It keeps him alive for a couple more seconds, but Faker goes in to finish him off. Comes up with the kill, and it looks like they're winning this quite handily. Score able to fire back, takes one out onto Bang. They lose Smeb in the end. It's going to be 2 kills on the side of each team. Pawn trying to interrupt, but won't be able to find Wolf. He just takes a dive, makes it out of there, but the Super Creep's now starting to chunk down onto these turrets, so Score has to go ahead. clear this out. They won't be able to get rid of any of that vision in the river.
Well, they don't see anyone around Baron, so they can have a pretty damn good guess that it's happening.
Smap does have his TP. Do they want to go ahead and thought maybe they'd try to start that one up? It looks
they
like
also know that Abyssal
will.
Voyage is on cooldown.
That's true. Abyssal Voyage is on cooldown, but Huni does have the teleport.
I think they're going to rush it again. They have to.
Yeah, Huni goes in for the recall. The Baron's going low. There's just no way for them to get in there. So Baron does go over to KT, but they need to minimize the losses. They need to make it out of here with their lives.
Equalizer
is
here.
back up for Huni. Where does he want to toss it out? They're all in a choke point. There it is. Perfectly laid down on top of everybody, but Blank already falls. Death gets jumped on. Baker comes up with the kill. They follow over the wall, looking for Smap, looking for Score. Should be able to take him out. There's no GA available for the Gragas. Fourth and final shot would kill. They don't find it. He's going to body slam back. Score manages to recall, so KT loses their bottom lane yet again, but they kill Blank and they get the Baron.
KT just want to push up mid, but the minion wave is being proxied by SKT, and they're coming from multiple angles.
Chero comes through, connects onto Huni. Devour's there from Wolf to keep him alive. Faker still playing up very far into the front line.
The one's tracking cooldowns. Devour down for a couple of seconds.
Oh boy.
Well, they're not going defensively, they're going aggressively because they want this inhibitor.
Yeah, that is not your base KT roster, but they say, we know. We're going to go ahead and take this out, get some super creeps working for us.
That can buy
pushing
time.
forward, but can't do much to go into the front. Big equalizer thrown down yet again by Huni, chunking out the members of KT roster. Redemption does come through, healing them back up the full. Blank almost loses his Guardian Angel, and Huni has to go into the zone.
He's really low.
He'll comes up, Cass comes through, Faker has to jump back out, still has GA up. Now Score going low, gets waves. That's going to be Bang coming up with a kill. Can he find more? Smev has his GA, Pawn goes in big, takes out the Jin. So far, a 1-for-1 exchange, but Blank is going to try to upset that. Goes back in, takes out Mata, but the answer with yet another kill as Smeb gets rid of the Rengar. A 2-for-2, Smeb barely limping out of there. Super Creeps are starting to push up inside the base of SK Telecom. Turned a couple hits from Dead. Pawn will be able to finish this one off. The hunt gets popped by Blank.
This needs to be SKT's fight.
Yeah, he's looking in from the sidelines. Equalizer comes down yet again. Depth down to half HP. Baker goes into the back line, but he gets knocked up immediately. GA will get popped on him. See Depth coming back up from his own Guardian Angel. Blank going in, just trying to take him out. They're able to do so as Bang comes up with the killing blow. That's going to be a second one.
SKT's done it.
Mata goes down the bottom lane of KT, yet again falling. Smeb will get his Guardian Angel popped. He's surrounded by SK Telecom members. He's going to fall. Looks like Pawn will as well score. The only one to make it out with his life. And SK Telecom still hold on, but they have to answer these super creeps. Bang, he's going hunting. Can he find it? Looks like the answer is no.
SKT want to enter the game, Achilles. They have super minions, or they have at least a minion wave pushing in the mid lane. Only Score is alive, but because they have to answer with just a single inhibitor, they're going to teleport anyway.
Yeah,
they want the end.
This might just be it. Bang does so much damage to these structures. The super creep's still pushing in. The Nexus is exposed, but Wolf is there to manage it. They have so much damage, even with Faker being as low as he is. If Score could get a pop on him, that might be enough to dissuade.
Though. They're not fully committing to ending. Zed's recalling. Game's not over, but a lot of power is lost from KT. They have 4 Guardian Angels entering the fight.
Score. Can you come up with this one? Asher comes down, Blank gets locked up. Baron quite low. He used the collateral damage. Score would have to enter the pit. He's just not there in time.
But he's buying time.
And he finds something on the back, and he goes for it, trying to look for Huni. The TP coming through from Smav. They jump forward. Mata goes in with the Q, pops up Blank with the Glacial Fissure. They come up with a kill. Huni, the Guardian Angel, just one hit from going down, but the Devour is there from Wolf to keep him alive. Mata throwing out the Redemption to try to finish him off. Won't be able to find it. Still evading them now. Body slam forward on a Faker, goes straight into the death mark. On top of Smap, gets a little bit of damage now, but he's still relatively healthy on the Gragas. Mata gets popped as GA there to back him up.
For 25.
Bang throwing up the curtain call, looking for some damage, but he takes a big burst from the Shock Blast. Has to peel back and cancel the rest of it immediately. So Bang gonna go ahead and peel back. Nexus already taking a little bit of damage, and Huni will get his GA popped. SKT still desperately holding on. Blank is up in 10 seconds. Can they buy enough time? Wolf has the Devour, spits out. That's going to be Bang going down. Finger going back in, trying to get on top of Score. He pops the GA, but can he do enough? It looks like he will not be able to. Depth firing away, but can't get it. Scores here. Can he finish it off? The answer is going to be no. That's an ace coming through from SK Telecom. It looks so good for KT, but they just cannot finish it off, and that should be SKT winning the game.
What an insane hold from SKT specifically. Buying time for the respawn onto Blank. He gets back in, he runs it down mid. Minions will be coming soon. They still have to play base defense. They can't send everyone to end the game. They're going to send 2. Faker's walking up. First respawn is still 20 seconds away. It's Mata. He can buy a bit of time with Exhaust. But surely this is it. Surely SKT have done it. This game has seesawed so many times, but they're going to run it. Mada's dead, and I think SKT have won a Titanic series in just the most dramatic fashion possible.
Super creep there to back him up, to tank up the turret shots. They take out both of them. The Nexus is exposed, Mada. If there was anything you could do, I'd be so damn impressed, but it's just hopeless now for KT Rolster. SK Telecom, in such a back and forth third game, are able to come out on top.